Hello YouTube and welcome. Thank you for joining me for another video. Now today I'll be talking about the iPhone 12 and why I'm not getting it. I don't think it's worth my money. And in 2020, I think that what Apple has done with the new iPhone, they could have done better. There's so many other companies out right now, from Samsung to OnePlus to a list of others who are doing things that are actually groundbreaking. And that's where Apple used to be for me. Because when Apple came out with something, it was the hottest thing out, and now they're just riding the coattails of riding the wave of it's just an Apple phone. The design, the iPhone 4 and the iPhone 5 with the squared off edges, that was hot. 7, 8, 10 years ago, but for 2020, I don't think that's an innovation. That's bringing something back that makes the phone look dated. There's not enough things about this phone that are different. I'll pull it up here, let you guys look at it with me, and I'll talk about it. Now, here you can see what I was talking about, this design. These squared off edges, they just don't do it for me. I mean, I've seen it. And when you think of Apple, or at least when I think of Apple, I think of something that's going to be completely different. An all glass phone, a clear phone. These are all technologies that exist, but Apple instead has went backwards, and they're putting out a phone that looks just like a phone they had a decade ago, and I don't understand it. The camera bump. Each new year there's an innovation in the camera bumps. For the last 2 or 3 years, we went from the multi cameras to the square to the oval to the circle to the cutout, and here it is. The iPhone 12 camera bump looks exactly like, I don't know if you guys can see it, this is an 11, looks exactly like the 11 camera bump, and the 11 Pro has the 3 cameras, and it's just not enough different for me. It just doesn't do it. Now as we go down the website here, this is a this is a big deal for me. They're promoting this thing as having less bezel, more screen. How about still has a doggone bezel? There's no reason for a phone. I'm sorry, it still has this notch. There's no reason for a phone in 2020 made by Apple, the largest manufacturer and seller of phones aside from Samsung. There's no reason for this company to have this gigantic notch in the middle of this phone. It isn't. Now, first off, in case you did not know, Apple does not manufacture their screens. They don't. These screens, these OLED screens, were ordered and made and delivered by Samsung. So if you're ordering screens from a company who is known for their edge to edge, their curved screens, their pinhole cameras, their teardrop cameras. I mean, Samsung is putting pinholes in the $49 versions of the phones that you can pick up in the supermarket. So why would Apple order phones from Samsung and keep this obnoxious gigantic notch right in the middle of it? There's not that many sensors. There isn't. They don't have any more sensors than anybody else does. Don't believe anything different. You got different colors. I mean, that's always fun. Now, here's the thing. They're saying that the ceramic shield glass is tougher than any smartphone glass ever in the history of the earth. But, 2 days after the phone was released, there are a couple of different people on Twitter and here on YouTube that are showing phones with cracks and gouges and marks on them from no less than 72 hours of use. So it's not all that tough. Chances are they bought some subpar glass and they came up with some type of coating to spray on it, and now it's revolutionary. And it's just not the case. And I think that the way 2020 is going, things are being exposed, and I think Apple has just exposed their whole hand right here. They don't have anything new. And going back up to this first picture here, we'll click on this here, and this is something that I want to talk about also. Let's go back home here. So I can pull this up right. Clicking on Learn More. "5G." Now, it's awesome that Apple has released a phone with 5G. It's beautiful. It works flawlessly. 5G is nationwide, okay? Sub-6 5G is all across America. That's the 5G version that T-Mobile has. That's the 5G version that AT&T has. That's the 5G version that Verizon has. So, with that being said, the fact that Apple is pushing this new 5G as the fastest thing ever, it's true and false. So that means it's misleading. It is completely misleading. The sub-6 wavelength is what everything operates on that's considered 5G. Now, this super fast 5G that they're talking about in this, keynote, and that's all over the website about, how fast 5G is, that's called millimeter wave. Millimeter wave is only available from Verizon. That's why the CEO of Verizon was out at the keynote. And secondly, millimeter wave is only available in select cities in the U.S. Now, to continue that, talking about millimeter wave, it's line of sight. So you would have to be directly in line of sight with the repeater to catch that millimeter wave version of 5G. It's obstructed by trees, it's obstructed by buildings, it's obstructed by glass, it's obstructed by rain. So it's not what it's cracked up to be. By the time that version of 5G, not the sub-6 version that everybody has, this millimeter wave version of 5G that right now only Verizon has, and it's only in select cities across the US. By the time that version of 5G gets to be something that everybody can use, this phone will be 3-4 years old. Bottom line, this phone, this iPhone 12, will be outdated before the millimeter wave version of 5G is widely available to the majority of the population of the United States of America. So for Apple to come out and say, well, it's got the fast, yes, it's got an antenna. It's got the antennas to pick up the millimeter wave. Yes, they're giving you a subsidy price if you get it from Verizon. But, and there's a big old Sir Mix-a-Lot but in there, but it's not available everywhere. So unless you live somewhere, and I'm sure you can go on YouTube and see guys that are producing videos that are way bigger than me, and they'll tell you exactly what 5G is about. And there's two different versions. There's the sub-6 version, and there's the millimeter wave version. So 5G is cool, it's fast, it's awesome, it's way better than any other version, and the only thing that 5G means is the 5th generation of wireless technology. That's it. That's what 5G stands for. It's the 5th generation. There was the 4th gen, there was 3G, and there was 2G. I don't know what they called it before 2G, but that's when I knew about it. You had a 2G phone that was hot. You had a 3G phone that was hot. Then there was 4G LTE that was hot. Now it's 5G. And now 5G is separated into two different versions. Again, there's the sub-6, which everybody has. If you've got a 5G phone and a carrier here in the US, you've got sub-6. And then there's the millimeter wave. The millimeter wave version is not ready yet. 5-10 cities across the whole United States that have it. And right now pretty much it's in a beta phase. So you can't just use it unless you're sitting outside of a tower. It's not realistic. I'm ashamed of Apple for that. What else are my gripes? What else are my gripes about this iPhone 12? Other than it being dated, other than them misleading everyone, talking about the version of 5G that this phone have is so much faster. It's true because it's got the millimeter wave antennas, but it's also false because that millimeter wave version of 5G is not available. So that makes it misleading. So I'm really disappointed again in Apple. I could go on telling you why I'm not getting this thing. I I like the iPhone 4 and the iPhone 5. I had them both, and they were hot back when they were hot. But now I wouldn't dare pay 600 to 1,000 to 1,700 bucks for an iPhone that looks like an iPhone that I had 7, 10 years ago. That's it, guys. Hope you guys like my new format. Trying to do something different with the channel. Stick around. Stay tuned. Got more to come. Peace. Oh, also don't forget before you go, just like it says over here, right here, right there, subscribe and like. You guys making those likes helps me out tremendously. It doesn't give me anything, nothing monetarily. It just gives the algorithm that YouTube uses a notification that, hey, this video needs to be shown to other people. If I don't get the likes, it's not shown to other people. Check out my other videos. I'm sure you'll find something that interests you. Thanks for sticking around with me. Stay tuned for more.